Hello, good morning everybody. Myself Shambhu Kumar going to give a seminar on ColdFusion security, how to secure a ColdFusion server. Recently we have heard about that vulnerability attack which has happened and I noticed from last 2 years. There are lots of vulnerabilities and lots of attacks are there which is unaware in any programming language, it is unaware of only ColdFusion, it's not like that. In this seminar we're going to talk about those vulnerabilities which is unnoticed and which is happening from backdoor. It's from backdoor someone is stealing data from the server. So we are going to discuss about those vulnerabilities. Uh, Let me introduce myself. I am a ColdFusion developer working with Mindfire solution from past 2.5 years, and I'm a Adobe certified expert. And I also had personal blog in samcfl where you can find useful tips related to ColdFusion and a SQL server. And I also had in company level blogs where ColdFusionExperts.wordpress.com, and you can catch me on Twitter and LinkedIn, and you can just follow me in Samunted. So our agenda is very much clear in this seminar that I'm going to discuss about those vulnerabilities which is happening in server level. I'm not going to discuss about those vulnerabilities which is happening in application level. I'm not going to help you out to write a secure CFML code by which you can prevent access attacks or prevent SQL injection. Because security is more than that. We are going to discuss about those vulnerabilities happening in which happens in ColdFusion in past 2 years. Lots of vulnerabilities happen in backdoor. We are going to discuss about that. But the topics will be which we are going to cover is this, that we are going to look into the recent attack which has happened in ColdFusion server. We'll look into how ColdFusion server can be hacked and how we can prevent that, and do hardware attack ColdFusion. Big point. Will look into that. We'll look into the ColdFusion 10 and Splendor server security enhancement which has happened. We'll look into the tools which is available in web by which you can check whether CF is vulnerable or not, and what we need to do from here, because we can't make it any system 100% secure, but you can at least match up to around 90 or 99%. So they're okay, yes, I'm around 19% secure enough. So we'll look into it and we'll discuss each and every point briefly. The first point will be to discuss the recent attack which has happened in ColdFusion. So there's the common vulnerabilities and exposes CVE data source which keeps all the data, all the vulnerabilities reported in any programming languages and all. And what I found is that in ColdFusion we have around 61 number of attacks per CV database. But the main point is that in the past 3 years only we have around 32 number of attacks, but more than half attacks is happened in last 3 years only. And if you just see that in 2013 we have around 13 number of attacks which has happened. And if you see vulnerabilities by type, then there is an XSS which comes in a top, which is having a 20 number of attacks which happen in those 61 attacks. But in this seminar we are going to discuss about these vulnerabilities, the 12 which is of gain information or bypass something or gain privileges or directory traversal. We are going to discuss about those vulnerabilities by type actually. And so let's move on, and we are going to check about the vulnerabilities which has happened in last year. So these are the 4 or 5, the major one which is having a highest severity level in CVE. These are the IDs which is being given to those vulnerabilities. There are 625, 629, 31, 32, 36. So if we just look into that, these attacks are actually is a backdoor vulnerabilities. Means someone has exploited your RDS, someone has exploited your admin API, someone have unauthorizedly accessed your restricted directories in your server. Someone has repeatedly bypass your login from safe admin. So all those 5 or 6 attacks which has happened, these are all comes in the backdoor vulnerabilities and all. And interestingly, we are going to discuss about the two stories which will cover around most of these attacks and how these attacks was happen, and we'll discuss how we can prevent that. But most importantly, all these attacks was happen in both CF9 and CF10 as per CV data source. So I was telling about the story which we are going to discuss. The first one is in mine. What I can discuss is that I'm working on project, and this thing which happened in my case back in September 2013 is that our server was hacked, our ColdFusion server was hacked, and unfortunately it says by the client that unfortunately over the weekend I discovered that our CF server has been hacked. Yes, of course, we have found that yes, our server was hacked, but when we check the HTTP log, that schedule log and all, we found that actual attack was happened actually back in January 2013. Means around a 9 months time span. That we are unaware that someone was stealing a data from backdoor, because it's nothing happening in our front end. Our application is running good, is well and good. Our database is in good position. There's nothing happening in there over there. So we are unaware that because everything is looking fine and all, but there is someone who from backdoor is stealing a data from our server. So what is that? It is not in our case only. There are lots of blogs and all. You can just go and check it in Adobe site and all. There are lots of customers that have complained our server has been hacked and what we need to do and all. And actually that attack was happened back in 2012 December, that Christmas time. And actually Adobe also releases a patch on that time. But we'll see is that what actually happens. What actually happens in this attack. So this most probably the attack just come under those 5 attacks, and they have remotely hackers have exploited admin API or an RDS has been exploited in this case. And what we have found that in our cases in our server that we have found a malicious file name called s.cfm in our CFIDE directory. As per my client, that they told that we have found s.cfm file in our CFIDE directory, and it contains a bunch of code in that. And they have some scheduler also be added over there. So I go to other customers also. When I check that, they have told that there are other file names also like i.cfm, help.cfm, info.cfm, which is present in their servers. But what actually was happening? How someone added s.cfm file in a CFID directory? How is it possible and all? So yeah, of course, this is in a possible way. Yeah, if you are not logged in a server, of course, this is in a possible way. What they have done is they have traversed, actually the hackers have traversed to the admin API and added a schedule job which calls a schedule task and write that output as a .cfm file. Simple, right? Traversing to the admin API, calling a schedule job, and calling a schedule job which calls a schedule task. Maybe that schedule task will have a webcell which runs and output that file in s.cfm, or s.cfm is behaving like a webcell which writes into the same file. So these things may happen. So there are some scenarios which may happen in this case, and I told you that probably that we have that s.cfm file contains a data source which is taking from that new data source, that XML file, or some other things which the hackers have done and kept it in their s.cfm file, and from outside they are doing a get request and catching those data and all. So how is it possible? I check it in that, and there is a DB exploit website, and where I found that a Python code which is written, which is almost similar to that attack which has happened. And this is the Python code, that CV 203655, and this is a Python code I used to try to run into my local system, but it doesn't. But because we have already patched our server and all, and already we have a antivirus is already know about that. Okay, the server is this is the attack which has happened. So, but I have created a flow chart of it, and I will be discussing with you. This is a flow chart which I have written. First of all, even when hackers come, they want that but in which version which version of a ColdFusion is installed in your server. This is the first thing they need to find. This is very easy, by which if you just go to your CF administrator, then you can just find there is a different logo which is being placed in different servers. It means a different CF9 we have a different, CF10 is a different, and this is some background or image which you use to find that okay, you are in ColdFusion 9 or you are in ColdFusion 10. The simple way you can find it. You can give it the MD5 hash value of it and just match it with the MD5 value which you have, and just match it the CFID administrator.cf and this one, the JPG image. Just check that value, and we get that okay, you are in CF9 or CF10. So once you have a CF9 or CF10, which version of CF is installed in it, they want to find which OS your server resides. That's the next big thing. And what the thing they have done is they have traversed to the custom tags. They have traversed to the WL root and CFID. There's administrator. There's a custom tag file which is okay. In CF9 we have an outside, I guess. Custom tags. Let me check it in the. Then we have CFusion. If you go this, if you go to WL root, CFID. If you go, okay, sorry, it's an admin API. Sorry, that we need to that part we need to go. Okay, so in admin API we have a custom tags, and inside there is an item.10.cfm or something. This they have called, and they have found out, okay, which OS is each OS is there in it. And once they have well to get that, because why they need it is because they need to find out which version which OS is inside, because once they will find that, and once they will find that, okay, which version of ColdFusion installed in it, they will able to find that password.property path. You know that the password property path is to password property, which is it stores a CFI admin password, which is presented in your web root. If you just go here and you just go to library file, there's a password .properties.password.property file, which gives the hash value of your administrative password or RDS password, which is in the and keep it that value and hash value of it, and it stores that. So once you, so they have traversed to this password property or your RDPI or your RDPI has been exploited. So the RDS has been exploited. So this may things happen in that. So once they have bypassed, through that using those RDS being exploited, or by using those catching those hash value and adding those salt value to that, and logging into the administrator, what they have done is they have added a scheduled job. Which is calling a request from the outside server page and return a save web cell and return the save web cell in your directory. So how does it happen? Let's check it right now. Let me open it in ColdFusion 9. You just need to go to that schedule task, right? And so in debugging login we will find the schedule task. So just move on to schedule task, and there you will find this. I have already created one schedule task, and what it does is let's say it catches a I will be calling a URL, different URL by which or outside, which will like a seminar code source exposure.cfm, and which will write a file in here like an s.cfm file. So in ColdFusion 9 only you can just keep a file in a .cfm. CF10 doesn't provide. You can only write a file in a txt or .txt or .log file only, but CF9 provides it. So once they have that seminar code exposure, and the file will be written into this h.cfm file, CFM, which will be acting like in a web cell and all. So how once that I already created that schedule job, and if you just show it over here in CF9, if you just go over here, the CFM has been right. So once that CFM has been written right over in the CFID directory, how we can run that? So this is also an easy task. So what we can do is we will be calling a missing template handler. Yes, we will call a missing template handler, which will run this web cell. So how is it possible? Just go to settings tab. What we will do is we will just give a path over here right now, here set path over here, missing template handler. We will give a path of that, like /h.cfm and /h.cfm file and that. So once what the hackers will do is they will go to your parent website and all, and they will try to change your URL so that missing template handler will be called. And once the missing template handler will be called, your web cell will be called, injected web cell will be called, and injected web cell, whatever the code which is written inside that will be run, and that maybe they are maybe it will write in the same file or somewhere, and once that will write in the same file, your hackers will get that value from that using get request and catch that value from your server. So there's a thing which has happened in that case. The simple thing is that someone have injected HTML file which maybe behave like a web cell, and once the web cell is there, they are run by using a missing template handler, and they have cached that file, they have stored it, they have get the data source password or whatever they want, whatever the code they have written inside it, that will process, and once it will process, that will compromise data will be saved in somewhere in text file or somewhere, and once that compromised data will be saved, that will be taken outside by a hacker. So this is the thing which is happening in this H.cfm attack actually. So you see that this is the one story which says that how that someone can inject some web cell in your ColdFusion server from backdoor, and they were unaware that something is happening in your CF ID right. So let's move to that next story, which was I was telling about, that there's a recent attack which has happened in ColdFusion server. There's an ColdFusion Security news which shows a long list of companies. There's a 5 or 6 list of companies which I found that recently being hacked, and in the case of 8box.com, they are paying around $6,000 per year to a third-party security firm, compliance firm, to patch their server and to make their server secure. But even if they didn't able to make the secure, even if because of the lack of knowledge of ColdFusion or something, or not updating a patch, this may happen. So in case like Lights.com, Smuckers is there, security payment gateway. They are providing a secure payment gateway, but even their server is also vulnerable. Then a Karmaka Citron, this comes a big news because it is not much far, only 17 March 2014. This I got it from source from Guardian, that news, that it says that Citron becomes the latest victim of ColdFusion hackers. So if you just see this is also a recent attack which has happened in ColdFusion, in this ColdFusion world. So the all attacks comes under this backdoor ColdFusion vulnerabilities attacks. Those attacks which I say all backdoor ColdFusion vulnerabilities attack, and in all this in all the cases they are using the payment gateway, and also in all the cases the web server is exposed. Means once you have your backdoor ColdFusion vulnerability is there, means your web server is being exposed. And if you are using payment gateway and all, we will be discussing about that. That is that your source, your users data, your credit card data can also be exposed. How? So let's check that. The story which I was telling is this one. The ColdFusion vulnerabilities was allowing to install IS malware. How is it possible that someone is injected? Earlier in that case, we have seen that someone has injected H.cfm file in a CFI directory. Now directly to the IS, someone is CFI is allowing to install IS module in an IS. How is it possible? The DLL. So CFI is allowing IS module to install a DLL in IS, which in result steals data. How that DLL can able to steal data? How is it possible? I already discussed about that web cell. The CFS, the web cell is any type of remote access tool or a backdoor Trojan file. We can write it. You can write it, irrespective of it. You can write it in a CFM, or you can write in PHP or something. It's a bunch of code, a single line of code or something. So that behaves like in a web cell and all. So what does the CF what this deal was doing is CF vulnerability is allowing to create a web cell. We have already seen how we can create that web cell and server, which in turn execute a DLL and adds that module in IS. How easily way, right? We can easily inject a DLL in inject a web cell, and what we can do is we can write an CF execute which will execute a DLL and which will add a module in IS. It's an easy way, right? But how the DLL was able to capture those post data, we can see that DLL was actually very much smartly written, that it was capturing a post request, right? It was capturing a post request for specific page. Like when you go to the payment process page and all, we have some page, right? Payment process, and then we have then we submit a form into it. So it was capturing actually the payment process.cfm page, and it actually accepts a parameter. That DLL accepts a parameter, two parameters. The first parameter is that which page you want to capture and where you want to capture those posts and write that. So those two parameters he wants. So we'll see it how it is possible and how they have done that. But the main thing is that this specifically designed DLL was undetected by a modern antivirus also. And even if the most important thing is that even SSL can't stop this, because this is happening in the server level, and once that SSL decrypts that value, then only once as it captures data after the SSL post has been decrypted by the server. So this is the main thing. This is a big one that and we have till now they have not found a solution for this. There's some DLL is also under antivirus, and the SSL can't also find that there is something happening. So how they have done that is very simple. Once again, we'll see it by using a flowchart. Here you have how server is compromised, or server is compromised by admin API, or RDS has been exploited and all. Once that RDS is exploited, your web cell has been injected. And what web cell injected? Let's say we have an web cell which is in CFM. I will write a CF exec code, and which will takes a two as DLL takes a two parameters. I will write an arguments where we have in the first one where we will write I want to capture payment process.cfm form page, and just write it me in user cc data.txt, just enough, right? So once that batch file will be run, that will be written into your IS module IS, and once any user will visit this payment process.cfm, what will happen that it will catch the post data, and it will catch the post data which contains your user data plus your credit card informations and all, and it will just put your information back in that user cc data.txt file. And once that user cc data.txt file is there, that text file can be easily be taken by outside from outside, because once you have a server is compromised, someone can also catch your data from outside also. So yeah, big security hole. The two one we have seen, the s.cfm file and the IS malware injection. So if you see that how easily someone can easily inject a web cell in your server if it is not locked down, and they can do whatever they want. These are two stories which I told. There's another way by which they can inject a file, and they can steal the data from your server. So these are two attacks which we have seen recently also, and so we'll look into that, how we can prevent that. But let's move on to the next one, the hot one, that do Heartbleed CB 2014-0160 attack ColdFusion. As in hot news that also that Adobe releases that officially releases in Twitter after 10 or 12 days, I guess. But Adobe community wants that to give a result, give a reply very soon, because all the communities, all the other languages have replied that okay, our server is vulnerable, or if not vulnerable, they have replied okay, we are checking it. But even if Adobe says that the ColdFusion does see a version of OpenSSL, but it is not vulnerable to the Heartbleed, but still we have not. They have not told that which version is which version of ColdFusion has been except with OpenSSL and which is not vulnerable. They have not replied yet as per right now, and they have also told us so Adobe ColdFusion. So you can assume that a ColdFusion is not vulnerable to Heartbleed attack. I also checked the CFHTTP which you use to for communication and all from server and all. They don't use this tag doesn't use that OpenSSL. This uses SSL with 128-bit SSL encryption and all. So no need to worry about it right now. With Heartbleed, we are not attacked. That Heartbleed didn't attack ColdFusion. We can assume that. Okay. So the main thing is that I told you that we have kept our door open, right? We have kept our door open to someone to come inside and steal your data, and someone steals the data from back your side, but you are unaware of it. So these are the things which you have kept open. You have the CFID directory is being CFID is open. If someone is able to access the CFID directory, someone able to exploit your admin API, administrator, CF administrator is in public. Your RDS has been exploited. So its correctly says that if you are not locked down your server, someone will come and hack your server, because hackers didn't come in night, right? So this we'll take a look what we can do it to shut this door. But what we have the reason. Like, I'm a developer right now. I'm a developer and working with and client base in USA, but we have also some responsibility, right? Uh, uh, we starts our day by just writing a CFML code, secure CFML code, but we never just look into that who is managing our ColdFusion server. Yeah, in some cases where we have our client. If a client is unaware, if they have installed in there, and if they're hosting, if they're providing the same hosting, if they're providing their hosting services and all, maybe if their client is having a good knowledge of IS and all, ColdFusion and all, they can manage it. But in some customers, we have found that they are not unaware of it, that if what to do. They're totally dependent on the developer side. So we have also responsibility that we have to keep ourselves up to date, and also our client also to make it up to date. Okay, the Adobe is raising some patch or some vulnerabilities is happening over there, and Adobe, and we have to update the patches and all. So so the thing is that we have to take a more responsibility, because if our client server is being get hacked, we and our company is responsible for that. So let's don't think as like only developers can only there is no I'm developer and I'm not a system admin which manages the ColdFusion server. So it's a responsibility of yours also. You also are responsible for that, because there is an interesting podcast which was which I was listening in CF Hour. That was being Devon's code, which Devon's code, and it's because the recent vulnerabilities happen in ColdFusion and all about backdoor vulnerabilities, and they have released a podcast which says that blame game, who is responsible for these attacks. Do a developer is responsible, or server admin, or Adobe is responsible? So you can't say that this at one point of time when a server when any vulnerabilities are there in ColdFusion, yeah, Adobe is responsible for it. But once they have released the patch file, and after 2 or 3 months back your server is being hacked, then Adobe, yeah, of course there is not a issue. Adobe is not responsible for it, because we have to update that patch file, and also that you have to your server will be secure. So that's a different thing. So we'll take a look, but first of all, what we'll do is we'll find out what are the reason of all such attacks. We have already discussed about that. Your safe admin was accessible publicly. Yes, right. Your RDS has been exploited, means your RDS has enabled in production server. RDS is not for a production server, my dear friend. RDS is for only a development purpose, where you can different peoples can work in from different geographical locations and all. So and even if you have RDS password RDS has been disabled, you have not added a password in it. Your CF ID is accessible, your admin API, component details, everything is accessible. You have not applied dietary reversal. Also dietary reversal is there in that. Dietary browsing is not switched off. You have not applied some recent patches and all. So if you think that any of the point which is matches into your server, your CF server is vulnerable, right? So what the thing is that there's a big box, a big lockdown guide, I can say, the lockdown guide which is provided by Adobe, and no one is unaware of it. I was giving a seminar a few days back in my company level regarding this only, the ColdFusion security, and we found that lots of guys knows about, okay, there's some ColdFusion lockdown guide is available, but no one knows that what is written inside that. Someone have read, someone have not read, because Adobe also not take care much about that. Back in also in CF9, CF10 they have provided us lockdown guide, but I'm unsure if it's in CF8 or not. But they have not documented well. They are not also adding it there while installing that. Okay, your installation is completed for CF10. Now just go and log down a server. If you're in a production server, just go and log down a server. So it's in a bit of around a 60 page and 60 pages of ColdFusion lockdown guide, and if you just follow around a 60 to 70% also, when that's enough to lock down your server, and that's enough to be whatever the attacks which you have seen so far. If you have locked down around 60 to 70% of that, whatever they have written in the ColdFusion lockdown guide, that is enough to secure a server. So but the main thing is that who knows that CF lockdown guard is available. That is the big thing, and Rob needs to do something about that. That they need, if they'll just provide it, or by some settings only from the backdoor they can run that batch file or something by which they can do remove those CFID they can log the deny that CFID sequences and all. And if it come with some good solution, then it will be good. Maybe in the next release of ColdFusion Splendor we can find something good. So let's see how we can secure our server, how we can lock down a ColdFusion administrator. There is a simple way. By the two-way, easily we can lock down a server. There is an IIS where we have a request filtering and an IP address and domain restriction. If we just go and just look into it, there is enough. Easily we can lock down a server. There is an using access or deny features to lock down all CFID paths. This is available in IIS request filtering. And you can deny all URL sequences by default and now localhost specific IP. How is it possible? Let's check it out. Here it is. Currently I am able to access CFID. If I show you admin API, right? Admin API, just go to servermonitoring.cfc, so it will access, right? So how we can stop it to someone to access your admin API, right? So this, what we can do is we can just go to the IIS, you just go to CFID, and we'll just go to request filtering and just click on URL, right? And we'll deny sequence, and just we are going to deny what? We are going to deny CFID / admin API. Okay, so we'll just write over there. Okay, we are not going to open this admin API and what, and okay, right? So just we need to do this. So now if anyone open this CFID admin API / servermonitoring.cfc, then it will show. Wait, hold on. CFID, we have written correct path or not, we just need to check it once. CFID, okay, sorry, this path is wrong. So just we need to just remove this one. We'll add it once more. Okay, the path was not correct, that's why it was opening. So CFID / admin API, right? That's correct one. Okay, so we are going to deny this admin API, right? So now it was done. Now if we just open this CFID admin API, right? And if I want to check it, servermonitoring.cfc, so it will show error that request filtering model is configured to deny the URL sequence. Means, so this is the way by which you can stop someone to access your admin API, right? From URL no one will access, because there is you have a request filtering in it. So you can just give it a proper error message. You can just go to your 404.cfm, that's settings which is there in that, and you can add it, that error pages. If it happen, then you can show it some different messages and all. So that way you can do. There's another good way, is that it's an IP address and domain restriction. What you can do is you can allow only specific IP to be addressed to this CFID. Let's say only if you're under CFID, just go over here, IP address and domain restriction, and just add allow entry that I only want my local host to be open this CFID directory, no one will access, right? And once you allow the access, what will the default settings? Make other one a deny, only allow this one. So only what has happened, only will be administrator will be accessed to this, right? So that is the thing we can do, right? Let's move on next. Move to next part. You can give a login credential to the run ColdFusion Application Manager under services. So what you can do is you can go to the services.cfc, and there's an you can just right click to that. This settings is already there in your it's already written in your ColdFusion logged in guide, so you can just follow that. What you can do is we can just we are going to just click on that ColdFusion Application Manager and right click on it and add in a password over there. So that's the thing, we can do it very easily. If you just go over here, go to right again, shows properties, you can do, just go on and log on. You can just add an extra level of password over here. So that is the thing, we can do it over here. Next one level, you can disable RDS. So of course you disable your RDS on product server, but before disabling RDS, just give a password of it, then disable. right? Okay, also there's there's an folder inside it, and if you just check the check here, there's a different inside the CFID admin API administrator scripts, there's a script folder. It contains lots of text like chart, CF chart, which is required if required to be there. Means CFID scripts, CFID/scripts are required for running this CF chart, CFHX boxes, CF Splendor and all. But others we can stop it. Others we can stop it right now. You can just go to that your all the directories. You can just log down all everything. Whatever things available under your CFID directory. Just go and add a URL sequences to deny those. Whatever the thing, multi-server monitoring, expose application, prop possibilities, whatever thing is there, just go and disable that. So, but if you are using those CF chart and CF, you have to please don't remove this CFID/CF, otherwise it will not work. But what we can do is, we can solution is we can create the virtual directory, right? We can also create a virtual directory which will point to that CFID scripts directory, and we'll keep a different virtual directory name so that hackers don't know about that, and we will just point it to that, and we'll do a simple mapping in this here. We'll just do a mapping. Okay, my new path will be this. Okay, then my new directory will be this, right? You can just move it to this, move on this directory. So what you can do is another one is we can tie our ColdFusion security with one more level, right? With one more level is what? Allowing only a specific file extension which your application uses, right? Will not be allowing any other file extension to be run in your server. Let's say when a malicious use comes with having already in your server, you have an sp.n installed in a server. So anyone can run a .sp also file, but your applications only belong to your ColdFusion side. So yeah, of course you are going to run only what you are going to run. You have to restrict those files which are not being used, so that we can block a malicious request which is coming from outsiders, right? So we can just do it. We can just what we need to go do is we just need to go to the IS request filtering, and there's a file name extension is there. Just give deny file extension, right? .aspx file over there. That's the thing. You can just deny that URL sequence of that file extension from here. So that's a simple thing, we can do it. Also, there is an use web authentication for web application or web services. There is a simple way. There is a default anonymous web anonymous authentication by which anyone can access that. But what we can do is then we can do an extra level of authentication by disabling this one and enabling a Windows level authentication. So it will ask you for 2 passwords. If you just click over here, I have added in CF, right? So if you just access this one, so it will ask 2 passwords. So see the web authentication password they needed, then they will go for the CF admin. So this thing you can do 2 level authentication, you can do it, right? So extra level authentication. So I'm just disabling that now. Okay. So we have discussed about that. So now let's see why I told that removing all CF identity or virtual identity is not a foolproof solution. Because first the request comes to your web server, right? External web server, which is IIS or Apache we are using. First, even if you remove that CFID directory, the server ColdFusion by default server request it will request your CFID, right? Even if you remove it, virtual directory or even if you remove that CFID temporarily from your server, CF looks first in a web server, and if it not found, then it then found in a built-in web server, right? Built-in web server is a Tomcat or JRUN if you are in ColdFusion 9. So that will run that request. Means the Tomcat will be will run that request from their own, and CFID will be CFID or whatever functions, whatever things is that the CFID will be run if you have not locked down your CFID directory, right? So that so this is the thing we need to take care of. So even just not removing only CFID, if you remove all the CFID, that I will secure, no, we have to lock down that. That is the only best solution is there. And otherwise that you can let's say you have a source code exposure of that. Source code is what you can do is that there's another good thing we can do is that we can just keep the hash value. Let's say you have a source code source code directory, we can just keep the hash value of all the directories, file names and all, file name value of it, and keep it in some database, and uh, and we'll check it in every time on application start. We'll check it, okay, that what is the current hash value. If it is matched the hash value which of earlier, means okay, there's no other vulnerable code is injected in your website, or someone has copied, or someone having cut paste from your source code. So by this way we can also by keeping the hash value, checking the hash value of old with the new hash value, okay, someone has injected a file or not. By this way we can prevent some malicious some attacks and all. Even if the attacks happens, we'll let know, okay, that someone has attacked your server. So just someone attacked your server, so your code is compromised and all, so just go and check that. So that we can do by using the source eraser. There are different settings, there are different way or logic you can check it, by which you can secure or source code also, and also the CFI directories also. So another one is tightening your ColdFusion security with another one, that is SandBox Security. The big one is that there's a super functionality which is provided by Adobe, that we can just deny some tag or function or data source or a file access to be not accessed in your application. By this way we can prevent lots of things. Like in our cases, let's say we think that, okay, the web cell which is injected, that IS malware which is in the IS malware attack which was there, that let's say we have an web cell we have injected, web cell was of CFM, which is written in CFM language, and they have executed the DLL using a CF execute, right? And your application is not using a CF execute, then why you need that CF execute to be run from run by some web cell and all? Why can't we? Why don't we restrict that CF execute, or if you are not using a CF scheduler, by going to the SandBox Security and just deny that? By this way we can prevent that, right? So there's a simple there's a functionalities available back in CF9 also. We'll check it in CF10. In CF10, just go to that SandBox Security. We'll just moving to the SandBox Security, and we'll go to the Security tab, and there's a SandBox Security tab inside it. If you just traverse to this, then you will find that, okay, you can just enable the SandBox Security. Once you enable the security, then you have to specify that which path of your source code will be enabled with your SandBox Securities. So I have enabled with ColdFusion CF10 practices and all. So here, see, I have these are disabled data sources, CF tags. So whatever the tags, if you think like if you don't want CF directory, just move it to the right side. I have added CF functions that I don't want directory access to be run into that. So whatever settings you want to do, that you think that this is unnecessary, just make it deny that. So what will happen, that is someone able to access your those functions which are already denied, that will show error. Let me show you that we have ColdFusion best practices and all. There's an SandBox Security. So I have written a directory exist over here. I have written a directory exist over here. That's why it is, and we have denied it from SandBox Security. That's why it is showing that the request template has been denied access to directory access. So this way, by which you can prevent it lots of other tags which is unused, and which is unused, and make your server secure, right? So that we can do it. And another thing is that allowing a specific IP address to access your ColdFusion install. Yes, if you are working for like in our cases, we are having a client which is there in another country and all. So what we can do is we can just specify the IP address of our current web environment, where you're working on it. Like specify the IP address of your company and all, and the specify IP address of your client machine, and plus localhost. So only few people can only access that. So this functionality is only also available in here, over here. Just go to that, just move to your allowed IP address, just provide the IP address, just go over here, providing CF11, right? So if you just apply IP address is in CF10. So just what we need to do is just we need to add a IP address over here, just 127.0.0. Just you need to add that IP address. That's enough. That will be done for it, right? So that's done, right? What way next will we check it? We can just go to that ColdFusion lockdown lockdown guide which is available in web, or you can just go from here right now, and you can just download it, and you can just check the other settings which is there, and make your server secure. And yeah, of course, I was saying that there is we can also disable a sublet mapping, because it is unused from the web XML, like mapping, sublet mappings, like if you're running your CFM pages and all, then there is a CFM sublet mapping which is being stored in your web XML and all. So if you just go to CFID wroot, and also like if you're running that RDS and all, every sublet mapping is being stored over here. So what you can do is we can disable that sublet mapping. If you're not using Java sublet, Java JSW and all, we can just disable those sublet mapping from here. There are also sublet mapping which is being added over here, like for graph data, for gateway, for CFM, for CFML, for JWS. See, for JWS mapping. So if you're not going to use that, just disable that. So if one more security level you can do is, even if you disable that RDS from there, RDS from save admin, also comment that RDS sublet mapping from here. So that will be the extra level of security we can add it, right? So that we can do. And also if you think there is a handler mappings are also there in this, just go there. There's a handler mappings which is available. These are all the requests which is coming from these are all for the IS requests. So if you think those handler mappings which are not required, just make it disable that. So that also is another security level which you can do that. So what are the ColdFusion 10 security server enhancements which is there? ColdFusion 10 added a nice feature which is a secure profile. While installing a ColdFusion server, that will ask there is a checkbox which will say that to install your server with secure profile. What is secure profile is that it will have around 16 to 17 bunch of settings which will at least you can secure your server from application level. You can secure there's a lot of things which will be secured in over here. Let me go to the website, and you can see this. There are server settings. There's a CF token will be used, and a UID will be used for that. Maximum set of post data, which will help to secure any DOS attack which will happen. Enable skip. This DOS script protect will be true by default, and they will allow only specific. They will not allow any drop, alt, grant commands for SQL. So lots of web socket will be disabled by default. So lots of settings are there which is being added in that, and of course it's a good handy task which was added in ColdFusion 10. But even if the main thing is that the CFID was not locked down in this in ColdFusion 10 also, there has been optional checkbox, and I don't know why they have provided the optional checkbox for this. Okay, but even if I will recommend you to use that secure profile in a production server. And also there's in ColdFusion 9, if you see, there is a big issue to install the patch files and all, if Adobe releases some patch files. But in ColdFusion 10, what they have did is they have added a server update, by which you can just go to that server update and check that there is a new patch file is there. Just you need to see, okay, this patch file is there. What is the patch file? What it does? If you're satisfactory, just go and click that, download and update. So once there's only one click button, that will do everything for you. But it was a big problem for that in ColdFusion 9. So there is enhanced in ColdFusion 10. So if you say server security enhancement, that is secure profile, and this server update from server security enhancement. We could say apart from application, they have backdoor vulnerabilities and other application level vulnerabilities they have stopped by using this one. Updating, yes, it will surely help to some customers and all. So that is the thing happen. Let's check it what happens in ColdFusion 11 also. In ColdFusion 11, they have added. We have already added a secure profile over there, but they have added a new tab in that security. In security, they have added a new tab by which you can add. You can just change the security profile settings in that. Security profile settings if you need it, because even if you disable, even if you didn't check it from starting while installing, you can just go back to that tab and just enable that. And another feature which they have added is they are now CF is allowing to allowing internal components like admin API, like admin API status, server mentioned component jars to not access to not access from outside. Means you can access and give a specific IP address to that. But let's see how we can do that. How they have done it in ColdFusion 11. So I will be logging to the ColdFusion 11, and so I see here over there. They have, I told you that they have added allowed IP address over here by which you can add an internal components. So this is those internal components. So I'll be allowing only local host 127.0.0.0.1. I will add it, and only those only internal components will be accessed with only specific IPs only. And they have added, I told you that they have added a secure profile tab inside the security, so that you can just enable that even if you didn't enable it from starting. So you can just enable it, and you can check it whatever settings is there in that, and so that thing we can do it from here. And so that is the thing that best they have added in ColdFusion 11, apart from anti-SEMI and other different tags. From server level security, they have done this much of enhancement. That is good. And but still the CFID CFID is still accessible. So we have to need to go back to your CFID and add a deny or URL sequence to that. So maybe before releasing of that ColdFusion 11 Splendor, if they will disable that, then it will be a great work for them. So we have understood all the vulnerabilities. So what we need to do is that we need to act, right? We need to check your CFID, whether CFID is vulnerable or not. We have to check whether your unwanted scheduler was being added in your schedule page or not. Check your HTTP log or schedule log. Go to your IIS and see if there is unwanted DLL is being added or not. If you are working for client-based systems and if you are working from two different remote systems, so that just to allow only those IP addresses to be accessible, not other public, no other public will access that CF admin. So that we can do. Adding a request filtering to stop any CFID vulnerabilities. Yes, add a request filtering so that no one can access your CFID directory, no one can inject any web cell in your CFID directories. Use a secure profile if you are in CF10 plus. In CF11, it will be releasing just before CF objective, I guess. And if you are in CF8 or 9 projects, we have to move it to upward, because I have heard that they are going to stop the patch release for CF9. So, and also CF10 is now, of course, I can say it is stable. This is the worst product which they have built. There are lots of vulnerabilities in starting and lots of things we have faced it. So yeah, of course we can move it by end of the year to the CF10. It will be a good idea. And what we can do is we can also we have to look at our ColdFusion server updates, and if there is updates are there, we just need to install those patch files and all. And moreover, we have to keep up to date, and also our client have to client also need to be up to date, so that whenever we'll face some vulnerabilities, whenever Adobe find some vulnerabilities and all, and they release some patches and all, we have to update those patches in our server and all to be more secure. And other things apart from in ColdFusion 11 enhancement, then I can't see in this particular tabs. Yeah, of course I can say there's one more you can do, is that don't use single password only default, because it will be like a normal admin, which will be a normal username. But password, if you just better will be to use a separate username and separate password. So it will not be you are giving hackers a bit different, a difficulty level high by finding a username and plus password, right? So there are two different. There is a double security level will be adding over there. So this you can do. RDS, yeah, of course you are going to disable that, but here you can also make it as separate username and password authentication, so that it will be more secure. And before disabling RDS from production, just before that, add a password. Don't keep it as an empty password. SandBox Security we have discovered. User manager is that some website says that ColdFusion exposed to the outer world, so that other point languages can also access that. That also we can that setting also is available in that allowed IP address, where you can add this IP address by which other services, other users can access that. So that is the thing which we can do it in server level enhancement. security level enhancement from CF admin side. Now we are going to check out the tools available to check CF vulnerabilities. There are some tools available. There is a Hack My CF website, which is also recommended by Adobe, that you can just go and say that the server is vulnerable or not. We have not checked it, but I have seen the reports. They are checking each and every patches which you have installed or not, and which version and all, and their detailed report they are showing. So if you think that you have to check your whether ColdFusion server is secure or not, just try this one, Hack My CFF. That will be a great look. There are some others. Nessus also provide the 40 plugins available to check it, and others NewsGuard also. So but in our case, when we are in ColdFusion 9, where we don't have any server updates by administrator, by which you can go and check that okay, we have some patches where we need to install. In CF now, there's installing a patch file is a big headache, you know. Also says that Adobe says that they are sending a mail to each and every customers which they have, but it's not true in all the cases. So what you can do from our best side is that we will tell our client to do is just we need to just go to this site. That's Adobe ColdFusion Entitlement Index.cfm is as that, and just add your email address over there. And once you will add email address over there, if any new patches will be there, or if any ColdFusion finds some vulnerabilities and all, they will just send you an email of it. So there is a good way. You can just go over there and add an email address if you have not done. And another thing I will recommend is I will just follow these guys. These guys are awesome, and they are continuously writing good blogs and all. If you just follow Adam Cameron, there's a bunch of code. You can just if you just go to his site, you can find it lots of things, useful things from him. I learned from him, and these guys are very much active in Twitters and all, so you can just follow them in Adam Cameron, Ben Nedel, and Raymond Cameron. Charlie Ariat is his security guy. He used to he used to manage those CF meetups and all, and Rakshit Nar is our product manager. You can just go and follow these guys. You can learn a lot, and if these guys will help us to in our knowledge also. So just go and follow these guys, and these are good. So there are few references and all which I have followed to create this seminar. So hope you have learned a lot. So only thing is that which we have learned in this is that we have to lock down your ColdFusion server. If you have locked down your ColdFusion server, that is enough to secure your ColdFusion server. Then just go. So if anyone thinks right now that okay, our server is vulnerable, just go and check it, the points which I have discussed with you, and hope this will help. So thank you for your time. Have a great day.